For the past 3 years, the entire tech world has been obsessed with talking to artificial intelligence. We spent billions of dollars building chatbots, prompt engineering interfaces, and virtual assistants that could summarize text or generate images on command. But here in 2026, the conversation has violently shifted. We are no longer simply talking to AI. We are handing it the keys to the economy. We have entered the era of Agentic AI, and it is actively rewiring how global markets function. Today, we are going to break down exactly what the Agentic Economy is, the hidden financial metrics driving this massive shift, and why the future of business isn't about human-to-machine interaction, but autonomous machines transacting with each other at lightning speed. To understand the sheer scale of what is happening right now, you have to understand the fundamental difference between traditional generative AI and an agentic workflow. A traditional language model is a passive tool. You ask it a question, it gives you an answer, and then it stops. It requires constant human babysitting. An AI agent, on the other hand, is given a high-level goal, and it autonomously figures out the steps required to achieve that goal. It can navigate different software platforms, write its own code, verify its own work, and correct its own mistakes without ever asking you for permission. It is the difference between a calculator and a financial analyst. The tech industry has realized that passive AI is a novelty, but agentic AI is a digital assembly line capable of executing multi-step workflows across an entire enterprise. So why is this explosion happening right now, in 2026? It all comes down to the brutal economics of computing power. Over the last 2 years, the unit cost of AI inference, the actual processing power required to run these models, has plummeted by over 60%. At the exact same time, the underlying architecture of data centers became wildly more efficient. This created a massive crossover event. Suddenly, it became financially viable to let an AI system think continuously, testing thousands of different paths to solve a problem in the background. Analysts project that because of agentic AI, global token consumption is going to multiply 24 times over the next few years. That is an incomprehensible amount of digital labor being unleashed into the market, and it is fundamentally changing the profit margins of the world's biggest tech companies. The immediate result of this shift is a complete restructuring of the modern workforce. We are moving away from an economy where humans perform digital labor and toward an economy where every employee essentially becomes a manager of a digital workforce. You are no longer hiring someone to manually route invoices, score marketing leads, or patch cybersecurity threats. You are deploying a localized team of specialized AI agents that run those processes continuously. Early data from the labor market suggests that agentic AI software and services will represent a $23 billion industry by the end of the decade. The companies that are skyrocketing in valuation right now are not the ones building generic foundation models. The real money is flowing to the integration platforms, the companies building the digital infrastructure that allows these autonomous agents to seamlessly plug into legacy enterprise systems. But the most disruptive part of the agentic economy isn't happening inside individual companies. It is happening in the space between them. We are witnessing the birth of agent-to-agent commerce. Think about the complexity of a global supply chain. Right now, if a shipping container is delayed, a human logistics manager has to notice the delay, email the supplier, call the warehouse, and manually adjust the financial forecasts. In an agentic economy, the buyer's logistics agent instantly recognizes the delay, autonomously negotiates a new delivery window with the supplier's agent, updates the internal resource planning software, and adjust the payment terms, all in a fraction of a second. This automated machine-to-machine economy is projected to drive hundreds of billions of dollars in new value. A massive portion of global business transactions will soon occur without a single human ever touching a keyboard. However, This utopian vision of a frictionless, autonomous economy is currently slamming into the physical limits of the real world. You cannot run a global network of autonomous digital workers without an unprecedented amount of physical infrastructure. The rise of Agentic AI is triggering a massive supercycle in the semiconductor and energy markets. We are facing a severe shortage of the specialized silicon required to run continuous multi-agent workflows. Beyond the chips, there is the energy crisis. These continuous reasoning loops require massive amounts of electricity, putting incredible strain on local power grids. The biggest bottleneck to the agentic economy isn't software development. It is securing the permits, the copper wire, and the cooling systems required to keep these agentic data centers running. The agentic economy is no longer a theoretical white paper. It is the reality of business in 2026. The shift from passive software to autonomous digital labor is going to generate trillions in new market value, but it will also ruthlessly expose the companies that fail to adapt. If you found this deep dive valuable, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Bamo Tech Analytics. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.